It's good to be in New York. LA is just, I lived in LA for a while, and there's so many assholes out there. There's assholes in New York, but it's easier to get away from. There's so many different breeds of bullshitters in LA that there's actually different, names for them. I named a certain breed of bullshitter. I'm going to get a patent for this. I hope I make some money. There's a breed of bullshitter in LA that I call a speed bullshitter. Now, what a speed bullshitter will do is this. They'll say something that's such incredible bullshit that's coming out of their dirtbag agent mouth. Even they can't believe what they just fucking said. So to compensate, they'll say two things that are lesser bullshit real quick to make up for it. Like what a speed bullshitter will do, here's an example. A speed bullshitter will say something like, this guy we're meeting tonight is Jack Nicholson's son. It's Seth. We know him. Another one is, last night I fucked Jennifer Aniston. I met her, she was friends. I had one agent out there who was like my film agent, never called me for 6 months. And I called my manager, this fucking guy doesn't call me, he's some guy movie agent. So my manager calls him up and guilts him into calling me. So the newspaper calls me like an hour later. I should put out an album of shitty agent messages I got on my machine. The guy clearly is just calling me because my manager called, and he was on his cell phone with a little wire thing driving through Faggot Canyon or whatever the fuck they have of it. And this is what he leaves on my message verbatim. He goes, Artie, Jason Heyman over at UTA. I was just at Universal talking about Guess Who? You. Piece of shit. I've been on the Stern Show for 7 years now. Times have changed. Things are changing. Stuff's so politically correct now. Even the kids just, on Sesame Street they tried to add a character that had AIDS. A puppet with fucking AIDS. In South Africa, AIDS is running so rampant, they added a character on South African Sesame Street with AIDS. In America, we said no. And they were like, why? And we said, well, maybe because we don't want to oppress the living shit out of 4-year-old fucking kids! Because they have a little time to figure out that life doesn't completely blow. A puppet on Sesame Street with AIDS, Snuffleupagus shows up, he weighs only 60 pounds. Got lesions all over his fur. That's funny for your 4-year-old though. Big Bird's like, what's the matter? Stop. I have AIDS, Bird. Share the needle with Mr. Hooper. Took it in the ass one too many times. Now here's Grover with today's letters, H-I-N. But after being on Stern for a while, hardcore fans, the people that came to us serious, they're real fans, they always ask me, what's a really good behind-the-scenes story at the show that a fan would appreciate? This, without question, is my favorite thing that's happened since I was there. About 5 years ago, I was still at K-Rock, and I like the guests who are real funny and get the show. They just know the joke of the show. And that's why one of my favorite guests is Chris Rock, great comedian. We all love Chris Rock. So 5 years ago, Rock is on the show. Howard does a great half-hour interview with him. And after the interview, Howard says to Chris, hey, let's go to the phones and see what the fans out there want to say. Chris, come on, we'll take some phone calls. And Rock, who knows how the show works, goes, here's where I get called again! So what he didn't realize is Howard has a computer screen in front of him, and on the screen it has the person's name calling, where they're from, and what they want to say. Howard could see the screen, and in the old place I could see the screen too. The guest couldn't. So right after Rock goes, here's where I get called again! I look at the phone screen, and here are the first 3 calls. True story. Caller number 1. Vinny from Queens. Wants to call Chris a nigger. Number 2. Anthony from Staten Island. Thinks Chris is a nigger. And I believe I might say Eddie from New Jersey, who I think I know. He asked the intellectual question, why is Chris such a nigger? And the fourth caller wanted to call me fat Casey Gay. So after Rob says that, Howard goes, oh, come on, this is so great about Howard. Come on, Chris, I would never. We're friends, we hang out outside the show, you come on here, I would, come on, buddy, you think I look some racist like that on the air? Not with you, maybe with somebody else, but not with you. And Rob goes, all right. And then there's a pause, and Howard goes, Vinny from Queens, you're on the air. You got on the show like that. That ain't the view. Yeah, the N-word is the worst, it's the most offensive racial slur of all time. And we're so politically correct nowadays that other groups of people try to pretend that their words are just as offensive. It's such bullshit. You know, we're a bunch of fucking pussies, midgets, and I'll tell you what. You see Eric, that's the first Eric. You see a midget. Shut up, fat ass. When you see a midget on TV, it'll try to tell you this shit. It'll go, calling a little person a midget is the same thing as calling a black person a nigger. Now, I saw that on TV, and I said, you know what, let me do a little experiment. Let me go out one day and try both things, just to see if they are the same. I found a random little person, which, by the way, is very difficult. And I found a random little person, and I said, hey, midget. And then I went out and tried to find a random black guy, which, by the way, is much easier. I found a random black guy, and I said, hey, nigger. It turns out there's a huge fucking difference. One would get smacked in the shin. The other one will get your fucking ass kicked. So the lesson here, people, is never ever call a black person a nigger, unless they're a midget to do whatever the fuck they want. See Beetlejuice done it. I remember about a year ago, Beetlejuice came in, and he was all depressed, you know, and we were all surprised. Wow, he was depressed? Why? I think, but really, the toothless, retarded, black midget is depressed. Really, the crack baby who shits himself is doing down. The retarded black midget who moves a salad, steak, or whatever we get.